Let's go. Let's go. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Good whatever, whenever it is, wherever you are. uh, oof, I was sticking myself a little too hard right there. Hi, hello. Bet you're not too surprised to see me. I was gonna say bet you didn't expect to see me, but then I was like, okay, well, it's not that much of a surprise. Anyway, I am going to pull some cards today for reasons. I'm like open and honest sometimes. Well, I am. Well, I'm honest. I'm open sometimes. I'm open about the stuff that I can share about my journey, or whatever. Anyway, I don't know if this is a characteristic of Jupiter retrograde or if it's just life right now. Um, but the area and aspect of spirituality for me seems to, within the past week or so, maybe 2 weeks, 2 weeks would be generous. It's been more prominent. Also, I don't know if it's this upcoming full moon or what, but ever since we've had a waxing crescent moon, I've been like feeling it as full. Meaning, like, I step outside at night or when it's dark and I expect to see like a full moon, or like in my mind's eye, like there's a full moon there, but there isn't. I think it was kind of since the new moon, since the last new moon, honestly. But it was like after the new moon. Because I was like, no, we just had the new moon. It's not full. Maybe it's the upcoming eclipse. Who knows? I guess it could be the eclipse, right? I don't know. Jupiter rules spirituality, though, right? Or is it Neptune? I have some lavender and chamomile, and I'm not trying to burn my tongue. Also, I saw these unicorn cookies when I went to the store today. So I got them. Oh, there you go. Now you can see unicorn. I was like, what? Unicorn. Those soft sugar cookies, the soft iced, soft frosted sugar cookies. It said unicorn. I was feeling very unicorny. I guess unicorn. Pegasus isn't a unicorn. More Pegasus than unicorn, honestly. As I'm coming out. So anyway, I have the Witch's Tarot. I'm gonna look before and after. The sun. Maybe I'll start with the star. I have my. I think it's actually bigger than this. I think there is a version that's bigger than this. But I got this size from Wish, and then I got the mini Witch's Tarot. I'm gonna use these two. The cards I'm gonna pull around are the sun. Maybe just the sun and the moon. I was gonna do the sun, the moon, and karma because karma is an eclipse. Karma is. Um, I'm trying to think of a line from Taylor Swift's song, and I can't right now. Karma is a cat purring in my lap because it loves me. Um, oh, I was going to use the Affirmators Tarot and the Oracle cards, but that's too late. I forgot. Too many things. I should use the Affirmators while I eat these unicorn cookies because there are unicorns on the Oracle cards. Mm. They're in the back. Hold up. Ooh. Okay. My shirt rode up a little bit in the back. I was like, I can't have another butt crack incident on live. I can't. I have too much space now, too much freedom, too much room for incident and accident to occur. But of course, I got to watch it back to make sure. What? Okay, sure. YouTube always doing something. Moment of truth. You can see my elbow. Wow. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. I ain't see no cracks, so I think we're good. I'm going to look before and after the sun, the moon, and the star. But there are two stars. So I think that's what I'll start with. I'll start with the two stars. I have two decks. I don't know. I'm not trying to be on here for too long because tonight is my Friday. So it'll be my last night in this 4-day rotation. And then I'll be off for 4 days. I don't know where I put my glasses. I have a pair of readers here if I need them. We're just not gonna rush through this. I'm drinking tea today. It's lavender and chamomile. I don't know if I said that, but that's what it is. Oh, I'm a Taurus rising. Jupiter is retrograde Taurus. So it's in my first house retrograde. A planet associated with spirituality is retrograding my house of identity. So now that gives it a little more context. I wonder if it's going to go into my 12th house. I just had a thought of where my iPad might be. I was like, wait, is it there? I need to look for it. I'm not as into, I don't even know if y'all can tell. Maybe if you've been watching me, maybe you can tell. I don't. I used to talk about like so many transits. Keep up with the new moon, full moon, everything. Not everything, but a lot more things. But yeah, I need Time Nomad. Time Nomad is just my personal, favorite. But I did also spend money for a few add-ons, and they're like $4.99. I see Temperance. Ooh, 5 of Wands. That makes sense. I'm thinking about Jupiter retrograde in my first house. I'm like, that timing though. Ooh, 7 of Pentacles. Okay. No, I'm not taking you, but thanks for making an appearance. I saw the 7 of Pentacles. Oh. Oh my gosh. Today is the day of realization, apparently. Maybe because I'm like talking about it now and I'm processing it instead of just holding it in and like internally processing it. And I don't even know what I'm looking for somebody to tell me because there's nothing that anyone can say. You know what I mean? Oof. I saw the 7 of Pentacles recently, so that's why I'm like, oh, now I get it. Like, I still get it for what it meant, but I also get it for what it means. You know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever watched a reading and it means something, and then you watch it back later and it means something different? And both times you watch it, like it's valid and it resonates, but for different reasons. Cool. All right, I'm gonna take one more sip. I need so much of this. I'm trying to like do this, but still stay sleepy so I can go to bed. A nice, relaxing lavender chamomile. So first, I'm gonna look for the stars. I don't know if I want to do the moon in the small deck. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do the moon in the small deck and the star in the small deck. And then I'll do the sun and the star in the larger deck. And we're just going to see what comes out. I'm going to pull from the bottom of the deck and I'm going to start with the small one. And I don't have my glasses, so I use this deck often enough I can tell what the cards are, I think. Oh, I got a title card in this deck. I don't have one of those in the other one. Oh, these cards are going to go everywhere. Hold up. They're so small, they stack weird. Well, because I don't place them as precisely. Looking for the star, looking for the star, looking for the star, star. Looking for the star. I don't want reversals, please. Is the star at the top of the deck? Oh. Interesting. The sun, the moon, the star. Wow. So am I going to take the moon too? Or no? Because that's not... No. The sun, the moon, the star. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wait, I have to take the sun, the moon, and the star. Because if I don't, I won't have a moon card. Because the moon came out before the star. So I'm pulling it out of the deck. The Six of Wands and the Empress are outside of all of this. The Six of Wands before it, the Empress after. And then we have is that the Two of Wands? I ain't got my reading glasses on. Yeah, the Two of Wands and the Death card. Two of Wands before the Six of Wands, Death after the Empress. And then, as an extra bonus, we have the Fool before the Two of Wands and the Nine of Cups after Death. Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. Hey, Sandra, how you doing? I was just thinking about that reading not too long ago. Wait, well, we might be talking about different readings. I'm thinking about the Pick a Lamp reading. Because I was at Walmart and I saw the lamps. And then so I've been seeing them around. I almost put ice in it because I didn't want to burn my tongue, but it's cooling off pretty quick. So now let's go to the other deck. In this deck, I'm going to pull before and after the star and the sun. Excuse me. I'm apparently feeling musical today. I blame the sleep deprivation. Is it deprivation if I just haven't gone to bed yet? Yes. Oh. The Four of Pentacles was the second card at the bottom of the deck both times. Page of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. I don't even know if I can find the bottom over here. There's two title cards. Yeah, I can. Ten of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. The Four of Pentacles was the second card from the bottom. Interesting. There's a Two of Swords after this Two of Pentacles, if you're curious. All right, we're looking for the star. Looking for the star. I feel like karma. I'm about to count these cards because I think karma came out in a roughly similar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The 16th card is karma that has that eclipse, the one that I said I wasn't going to look for. I noticed it pretty early in the other one too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's the Page of Swords. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 3. It's the 43rd card. So no, it was not early at all. 43 and 16. Anyway, back to the star and the sun. The star is like pretty far in the deck on both of these, so. Do I have a star? Here's the star. And then I'm going to pull the sun at the same time because there was one card in between. The Empress is the first card out again. There was one card in between the sun and the star. So I just took it because they were close enough. Oh, look at these majors. So it's the Eight of Pentacles, the Star, the Five of Wands, the Sun, the Ace of Wands. Before this. Oh, you were talking about the Walmart lamps? Okay. I thought you were talking about when I did the illuminator spread. I guess y'all wouldn't necessarily know. You're still standing? Same. I'd love to be reclined or in a lying down position, but So before the Ace of Wands is the Tower. The Tower's number 16. And the karma was the 16th card. I counted it for a reason. Strength, the Magician, the Hanged Man, and the Nine of Cups. And behind the Nine of Cups is the Two of Wands. If you forgot, the Nine of Cups is the third card after the Four of Swords. And the Two of Wands is the second card before the Sun. So we have the Two of Wands and the Nine of Cups flanking over here. Well, it has the Two of Wands and the Nine of Cups like bookmark this or section this off. But it's like it all came out on the same side over here. Ooh, 10 of Cups behind that Two of Wands. Also, there's that infinities thing above the head and Strength and the Magician. So Of course, we're going to take all the majors. The Tower, Strength, the Magician, and the Hanged Man. And then the Nine of Cups and the Two of Wands. Like, we'll just keep a mental note. On the other side, again, the card immediately after outside the window is the Empress. But this time she's followed by the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the Four of Wands. Ace of Cups under that Four of Wands, the Chariot, Seven of Cups, 7-7. And then there's our Four of Swords. Oh, there's the Queen of Pentacles. So it's interesting that the sun and the moon came out so close together. I don't even know why I'm doing this necessarily. Well, I know why. I had a dream last night or the night before. And by night, I mean day, because I sleep during the day when I'm working. when I'm on my on shift, I sleep during the day. But I had a dream that I was outside and I noticed something like bright in the sky. And it was the moon. And then I saw this, first I noticed the moon over here. But it looked so bright. I was like, that's not the sun. And then I saw the sun over here. And then I was like, what? I've seen the moon during the daytime before. But it looks so big and so bright that it almost seemed like a second sun. And then after I woke up, I was like, it's the moon becoming a luminary, like an actual luminary IRL, rather than it being a mirror. So we call the moon a luminary, but it doesn't emit light. It just reflects light from the sun. But in the dream, it seemed like the moon had a light of its own that it was actually emitting, which is why it was so bright and so visible in the sky that it shared with the sun. And then I was going to pull my phone out to take a picture of them. And by the time I went to go pull my phone out, it was like the sun was here and the moon was here. And then I noticed a really bright star flash to the right. And I was like, what? That's when I was pulling the phone out. And then when I went to go look back up. So I looked kind of down, I guess, to pull my phone out of my pocket. And that's when I looked up. And then when I went to take the picture, there was a bright star on the left side of the sun and the moon were more aligned. And this time there was a star on the left. And it just it flashed really bright one time on the right and then really bright one time on the left. So I was like, I haven't gone live in a few days. I can pull cards. So that's what this is. But that's also why I'm on the deck that I use the moon for, it came out right next to the star. And then on the deck of the sun, there's only one card in between them. So that's why I'm it's interesting, but I guess it's not, because in the dream, the star was right next to the one on the left. Well, they were both, because the sun and the moon were aligned at that point. But I guess the first time I saw the star, it was on the right and the moon was more to the right. And then when the sun and the moon were perfectly aligned, the star was on the left. Anyway. And it's also interesting that, again, the moon looked as bright as the sun because the sun is right behind the moon. So here's a bunch of cards, I guess. I don't know. It's okay, great, but what do these mean? I don't know. Why'd you pull them? I don't know. Was it really? In the Hermit video? Of a blue planet beside the moon. What? Hey, Cousin Harmony, how are you doing today? Oh, okay. Glad to hear it. I am not about to eat all 12 of these cookies. I might. So, two things again about the dream. The first was that the moon was as bright as the sun. And because the moon was as bright as the sun, because they aligned like this instead of like this, and because it was still so bright outside, like I was like, I could go, and this is one of the decks that I have where an eclipse is on. Actually, the back of the moon and the vice versa tarot is an eclipse. But when I thought eclipse, like the karma card came to my mind, and I was like, well, it wasn't really an eclipse though. I remember thinking after I woke up, I was like, is it like about the eclipse? Because the sun and the moon were aligning. And it's like, my brain is creative enough or informed enough to like have me dream an eclipse if it was about an eclipse. So that's why I was like, you know what? I don't have to go looking for. Oh, okay. Hold on, wait. Oh, when you said the video, I thought the video was referencing the Hermit Lamp video, not the video that you were literally just talking about. I'm tired. I appreciate it, Codes of Harmony. I will take all of the blessings, please. And I will return it with a thank you. Because apparently that's my lesson. Yeah, it wasn't an eclipse. So that's why I was like, Because I was going to look before and after the sun, the moon, and the star in the big deck, and then just look before and after karma, the eclipse in the small one. Now, around the moon that's as bright as the sun, there's an energy of new beginnings. Let's see, let's do it like this, just to help me out a little bit. There we go. So the first pair, the most outside pair, it's the Fool and the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment. But in this deck, she's looking at all of these cups, right? Oh, she's about to fill that one. So she's going, oh, maybe that's the Fool. Like she's going to fill this one cup. And I don't know if that one cup is like an Ace of Cups. Where oops, that is not how that went. The Fool just tried to join the other majors. The Fool's like, get me away from these minor arcana. I belong with the majors on the other side. I mean, true, you do. Because it's right after the Death card. But with the Fool and the Nine of Cups, it's like going after a wish. It seems like sometimes with wish fulfillment, it feels like there's an energy of like the wish coming to you. But this is an energy that's like going out because of the Fool. It's going out to fulfill its wish, to find its heart's desires. And she's pouring up the cup like herself. She's not being served. And she's seated at this table where it looks like she could be. Is she seated or standing? I don't know. So there's this new thing that we want and we're going after it. Thank you. Hello. How are you doing today? The next pair of cards is the Two of Wands and Death. And the Two of Wands is staring death in the face. Or the Horse of Death. I wonder if this is confronting fears. Because there's a little bit, not necessarily a cliff there. But that's just like one thing that comes to my mind. And I guess the Fool is here. I don't know if that's like a reality that's set in after we start out to have a wish fulfilled, or if after we take the first few steps or after like we're in the planning phase, then it's like reality starts to come in. And there's a million and one different reasons why we shouldn't, why it'll fail, why whatever. And there's something that we confront in that. But because death is on the side of the Nine of Cups, it's like the very thing that we wish for requires it. It's like we're the wish that we're pursuing or the dream that we're pursuing is one that lies outside of what we are capable of receiving or conceptualizing. Or it's just like it's so vastly different from our current experience that it's like we would have to be changed greatly, you know? And then the closest pair to that is the Six of Wands and the Empress. Now, I don't know. There is partially like the Six of Wands is going to impregnate the Empress because she's fertile. I mean, she's already pregnant in the card, but it's like that would be her receptive to it after this death energy. Receptive to the very thing that maybe she was afraid of in some point or afraid of in some part before. Or she would have been stopped because of whatever was confronted after that Two of Wands. And then after that, we end up with the Four of Swords, the Star, the Moon, and the Sun. So the Star and the Moon are actually a part of this energy because they came out so close together. They are both clarifier and clarifyee, I guess, significator and part of the reading. They're significators because they're the cards that I went looking for, but they're a part of the reading because they came before and after, before/after the other card I was looking for. So that proximity pulls the energy in. But then how do I? So on the star side, it's the Four of Swords and the Moon. So maybe this is like finding peace in the darkness. Now, the Four of Swords is a card of rest, but sometimes I can't tell if she's picking the sword up or putting it down. She looks hesitant, maybe. Maybe this is, we're learning to be at peace with the unknown, with things that could happen, with things that we can't control, with like the million and one different things that popped into our minds after we decided to set out on this journey. Or after we set out to have this wish fulfilled, right? Like maybe it was your own mind and people around you, or not necessarily people around you, but it's like, what about all these practical, logical reasons why this won't work out? It's like I have these responsibilities or I got that to take care of, but it's like maybe after you settle yourself. Did this already happen? Is this happening? I don't know. Use your own intuition, discernment, guidance. Discern your own timelines and the rest. But it's like after you commit to it, it's almost like when the fear or anxiety stops becoming a burden, it ceases to be an obstacle. So it's like if there's something that you want to do and you have a kid, this is an example. There's something that you want to do, but you have a kid and your child is too young for school. So you have to watch them. And it's like you don't have any family around, you don't have a babysitter. Like there's no way that you can pursue this new thing because of the very real logical, not logical, but because of the very real responsibility that you have. You have a child and no one to care for that child while you go and pursue something else. And let's say that for a time that has stopped you from doing or pursuing whatever. But one day when you really commit to it, I don't know, it's like as the worry, the burden of not having someone to care for your child lessens below some threshold where it no longer interferes with your ability to actually pursue that path. Maybe you're just like, you know what? If I get that opportunity, I'll figure it out. Then let's say you get an opportunity and as a bonus, they provide complimentary childcare, or you end up working with someone who has a child that's your age and there's something about them that you trust and they're someone that watches their kid and they're like, oh yeah, like, you know, they can watch your kid too. And it aligns like with you, right? You ain't just giving your kids to strangers, but it feels right. Like when the fear or the whatever ceases to become a burden, it stops being an obstacle. It's solved because flanking the moon is the star and the sun. The sun is a star, but it's a lot closer. Like this is a star that's close enough to feel the warmth of. Like I feel like I don't know what the kid is feeling, but I feel like that horse is like not sunbathing, but like appreciating the warmth of the sun on its skin. Fur. I don't know. Do horses have fur? That's skin, right? It's appreciating the warmth of the sun. The horse is. So maybe it's something that like it brings because the star is also a card of wish fulfillment. So at the very heart of this, we have wish fulfillment, and at the very end of it, there's another wish fulfillment. But like the star is major arcana wish fulfillment. So it goes from this like thought idea, minor arcana, but so many reasons why it won't work out. Pipe dream to the star and the sun, like, and again, like it feels like it's the wish fulfillment of the star, but close enough to see and feel and to illuminate things around you as the sun. But the thing about the stars, like it comes with 7 more stars. And so it feels like it's just the beginning. And that, like, because it's just the beginning, because it's star after star after star, that's what gives this, like, that's what makes this moon so bright. It just gets brighter and brighter and brighter. Cool. I do like low key, like between the Two of Wands and Death, like because we go from Two of Wands, Death to the Six of Wands. Like I feel like there's a lot of things that, like, there's a lot of struggle, quote unquote, that can be read in between those three cards. And then we also have the Four of Swords. And there's a lot of struggle that motivates the Four of Swords because it's like rest after heartbreak or pain, at least with the Three of Swords. And it also precedes like a big battle with the Five of Swords. But it's like the eye of the storm, that sweet spot that's kind of difficult to find in the Suit of Swords. So that's the star and the moon. Oh, yeah. And so with that clarifying the moon being like the space of things that we don't really see or things that are easy to missee because of or misinterpret because of how dimly lit or how much clarity there isn't, because we're probably working almost purely off of context clues at that point. Before I went live, actually, I had a thought about noticing the subtleties because of me and my own life. And then as I was sitting down after I made my tea, um, this tea cooled down fast. It's already been 40 minutes. Maybe it isn't cooling that fast. Um, but as I was sitting down, I was like, an overthinker is probably really good at like noticing the small things. An overthinker is probably really in tune with subtleties. But on the like negative side, it manifests as like anxiety or severe anxiety. But on the positive side, it can manifest as someone who's in touch and in tune and aware and very attentive, just like, oh, I noticed that. I don't know what the label for it is on the positive side, but maybe the point is just that there is a positive side or that it can be used in a certain way. And under the guise, or not the guise, under the context of this, that would be in that Two of Wands, Death, Six of Wands, that culminates in the Empress. And it's probably like there may be background things that come into play more that steer that more in the direction of an anxiety. I don't want to be like unhealed shadows and unfaced trauma, but it's just like it's a lot of little things. So, like, let's say that, for example, you have an issue seeing yourself as like worthy of something, and you notice somebody that you're close to, like they stop responding to your texts as fast, and they're not like hanging out necessarily as much. And then like because you have hold that like low self-esteem, low self-worth, or because your worth to you is always in question, it becomes about like something that you did, or like they're pulling away because of all this and all that. When maybe in reality, like they just get busy because maybe something in their life is just like requiring a lot of them, and they're not as free or they're not as available. And it has nothing to do with you. Like the way that they feel about you is the same. But because of all of that, like mental, I guess because of the stuff that naturally lies within the domain of the moon, whenever we notice those small things, then it's like, oh, it's because of all of this, rather than it being like literally anything else. Now, you ain't necessarily got to go full like Neptunian Piscean delusion. Like, oh my gosh, they're not talking to me. They're planning a surprise. um, Not speaking from personal experience, duh. But I feel like I play both. I'm a mutable water sign, so But yeah, it's like when all of the background noise and background chatter dies down, then maybe it opens also up paths for a truer intuition. Because I think sometimes it can be easy to mistake the voice of fear or paranoia or trauma as intuition because it's so small and so subtle and so just like present. Even when it's loud, it's just like so present all the time. But sometimes, like, again, that's why I used to say it was a hot second where it was like, I hope that blah, 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 blah. And I hope you learn to differentiate the voice of your anxiety, trauma, fear, whatever from your intuition because they can be difficult to distinguish sometimes, especially depending on what we're going through and what we're like being faced and challenged with. Now, on the sun side of things, we have the Five of Wands in between the sun and the star. On the side of the star is the Eight of Pentacles and the Empress. On the side of the sun is the Ace of Wands, Tower, Strength, Magician, and the Hanged Man. Now, this is admittedly unbalanced because usually I try to be as fair as possible. Like if there's two before, then I'll take two after. I usually don't go like four before and one after, but that's what it feels like. So that's how I'm taking it. Around the star is the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. The Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, like low hanging fruit for that would be when we have a mentality that we have to work hard in order to get something. And so we don't allow ourselves to receive blessings when they come in. And we look at a lot of things as too good to be true because we don't feel like we put in enough hard work to earn whatever is like we're facing. But the star again is a card of wish fulfillment. Some wishes you don't necessarily, it's like you already put in the work, here's the reward, or it just doesn't require as much work. You know what I mean? Maybe you work in other ways, or there's an exchange of value across currencies. And so you may not think that you put in a lot of work, but for whatever is on the other side, you've put in more than enough. Different people value things differently, and different people need and want different things. And so, like, that could be that one. And then on the side of the sun is in between the Ace of Wands and the Five of Wands. Now, that's interesting because the Ace plus the Five is 6. And the Six of Wands came out before the sun. Oh, it did. I didn't even catch that. Here, the sun is in between the Ace of Wands and the Five of Wands. 1 plus 5 is 6. Down here, the sun has the 6 wands at its back. The sun is in between the moon and the 6 of Wands. But the 6 of Wands is already at its back. So it's like down in the moon section of this, whatever the sun externally is like going through, whatever kind of internal conflict this may or may not be, it's already resolved. But, and especially because this is the sun, like it could be a point in time of your life where like there's a lot of good things happening, or there's a lot of really engaging things that are happening, popping up in your life, and you don't have enough hours in the day to a bird just like shot right up. You don't have enough time in the day to like get to all of them. And so you kind of gotta like, it's like things that are competing for your attention, but in like a good way, because they're all like amazing. It's just like, oh my gosh, I can't do all of them at the same time. If I could, I would, and I'd be very happy. And again, because it's like around the sun, that's what makes it extra positive. Kirsty, hello. How are you doing today? I've got my lavender and chamomile tea and my unicorn cookies. I kind of low key told myself I wouldn't eat another one, but it's fine. I'll just have to make sure I go to the gym tomorrow. Oh, I didn't even show y'all the unicorn cookies, did I? Well, maybe you saw it as I've been eating them. They're like this blue and purple swirl. Oh, well, there's a little star sprinkle. Ha ha ha, lol. LOL. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, no. No, I purchased these. I bought these. Hmm. I'm still working up my way to ovens. What's interesting about this in general, it goes that internally in the realms of the moon, the energy is very solid. But externally, like it feels like it's trying to ground in a way and having difficulty. And it may be because of the Five of Wands in between the star and the sun. I wonder if also this could be an energy of like, well, the Five of Wands isn't my significator, but it's significant because it comes in between my two significators. I almost wonder if it's like a difficulty in seeing wish fulfillment when it happens. Right? So let's use the example from before with childcare. So let's say that you meet that person that you trust, and they're like, oh, like, I have a kid that's the same age, and, or you just like you talk about your kid and they talk about their kid, and you know that your kids will get along. There's someone that you trust and all that stuff. And so, like, that's the universe signaling you, like, this is the answer to one of those things that prevent you from moving forward. Like, ding, 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 here you go. I'm trying not to use the story of the guy who drowned because he didn't take the boats and the planes and the helicopters and the trains and everything else that was the manifestation of his desire. Trying not to use that, but it's very that. But you're like, no, like, I don't know. It's like everything is like, and maybe it's just convention. Like you're like, it's not logical to do that. Like you're a stranger, and like, yeah, I might trust you, and yeah, this may be like an accredited license, millions of great reviews, whatever. But like, so you don't take it. You don't take the opportunity because you don't have the child care. And it's like you didn't. I don't want to say you didn't. Well, yeah, for the purpose of this, you didn't recognize it when it was given to you. And so it's like that's the competition between like Where's that other horse? No, it is this horse. Excuse me. I was looking at it on the YouTube screen. And on the YouTube screen, it's facing a different direction because YouTube flips it. Um, this isn't a Palomino, is it? I feel like my brain just went Palomino. I don't even. I know like the extent of what I know about horses is World of Warcraft. Humans in World of Warcraft get horses as mounts. So, and I didn't even really have a human. Uh, Palomino. I don't even know if I spelled it right. I did. A pale golden or tan colored horse or pony with a white mane and tail. Maybe this isn't a Palomino. No, it's not a Palomino. Well, no, it's not a Palomino. I mean, it kind of could be, but it feels like that stripe is more significant. Because, like, that's more than just a white mane. I don't know. Because the body looks a pretty solid chestnut. It's just the face. I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, in the external, it's like internally it's good, but externally it's like struggling to ground. But in the dream, the sun and the moon kept getting closer and closer. Like when I first saw them, first I noticed the moon, first of all, because it was so bright and probably out of place. Because if the sun is in the sky, it's another day, right? It's another day in a country where you get sun. Because I know some places in the world, depending on the season, you either got a whole bunch of sun or you got no sun at all. Like, is there a name for that? That's not a Palomino, though, is it? No, that's not a Palomino. Anyway, is it? I don't even remember the other ones. I just remember Palomino and like a chestnut mare. But yeah, so in the dream, it was like the moon was all the way over here and the sun was here, but they kept getting closer and closer. So, and again, it's like if you take the Five of Wands out of this, the sun would be right next to the moon. Let's do it. Why not? The sun would be right next to the star. Sorry. So now we would have the Eight of Pentacles in the sun. The Eight of Pentacles in the sun would be an energy of it's the payout for all of the hard work. And it's also fulfillment. Like the work was worth it. Could be appreciation. Clarifying the star. So that would be like the manifestation of a dream comes in as the reward for a job well done. And then before and after the sun would be the star and the Ace of Wands. Now that star and the Ace of Wands feels a lot like the Nine of Cups and the Fool down here. The Ace of Wands is a card of just like so much zest for life and passion and desire. And like, even though the star can be far away, and even though the star is pouring out all of this water, it's like it still can't douse that Ace of Wands. Like that's the magnitude of how great that wish fulfillment is if you take the Five of Wands out of it. So again, we have the Empress on one side, the Tower of Strength, the Magician, and the Hanged Man. If I read up to this, the Hanged Man, the Magician, and Strength. Like you can see it, the hangman, it goes from like this halo around the head of the hangman to like this infinity sign up in the air, right? So, like, this would be us getting all kinds of inspiration and insight, and like the divine constantly sort of telling us the different ways that we can go about doing something. It could be just like a massive increase in spiritual development, either through information that you find or just like within your own self and your own practice. And then the magician is the doer because he's raised the wand. And then strength is like it's that point or that part where you have enough trust that you don't even have to do anything. I can say it's that, but it's like, let's say that you have a breakthrough one day. And so you're like, oh, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's like you're doing everything yourself. There's a lot of like control that's kind of there. But then when it comes to strength, it's like strength is knowing when you can just like step back. Strength doesn't have to control everything, but it can step up when it needs to. So it goes, and it may just be like a natural progression. It goes from very hands on to like more hands off. And then the tower is here. And the tower meets the Empress. That is, I mean, you got the Ace of Wands, and you got the Empress, and then you got the Tower. So, you know, fill in the blanks. And there are like folks jumping out of the tower. So again, it reads as stuff that you don't necessarily have the time for anymore, or a change in priorities. Because if you're focusing more on a particular opportunity, let's say, you're not going to necessarily have as much time for others. This just took a whole turn that I don't necessarily appreciate. Because now it's almost like I was given the example of the person that has a lot of the not so great chatter that can turn subtlety into overthinking, stress, anxiety. Like, oh, like they're doing this because of that. But, and I was like, well, maybe the other person just got busy. But now it's like with the people jumping out of the tower that like there just isn't any room for anymore. It's like, yeah, the other person doesn't like you necessarily any less, but they're off to pursue their best life. And that's why I'm like, oh, just like having those two, not necessarily in parallel or in tandem, but just like within the same half hour, within the same video of like, yeah, you might have to trim the fat a little bit to get what you want. It's not to get what you want, to pursue a path that brings you happiness, joy, and fulfillment. And again, like the emphasis is more on pursuing that and less on you got to cut out this and cut out that and blah, blah, blah. Like that part just kind of sort of naturally happens with the tower. Or you're like, just isn't any space or room for it. But I mean, and say la vie, such is life. It happens. And again, it doesn't even necessarily have to be super extreme. It's just that like things happen in life. And sometimes there are things, and like the Empress is here. So it is something that requires presence and TLC. I know, big oof, big oof. The biggest oof. Queen of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands at the bottom of both of these decks. Yeah, so the Hangman, the Magician, and Strength is like this 3-step plan. And then at the Tower, like everything changes. I don't know if that's you, though. Can we clarify the Tower? Wow, I'm out of tea already. And the video's ended, so finished my tea. I've eaten enough cookies. I don't need any more. Sure. I think that's where I'm going to leave this. If this resonates for you, then feel free to use your own intuition, discernment, guidance to take it even further for you, or to sit with it and see how it may or may not resonate for you. So I'm going to put these away and get a final card now because I would love to get some sleep before I got to work. Hey, Eve. How are you doing today? Hopefully, oh, it's Tuesday. Hopefully, you're having a great day at work. Oh, there's the Magician, title card, Magician. King of Wands, Five of Wands. Four of Swords just went right on top of that Five of Wands. Hierophant, the star went on top of the Hierophant. The Sun goes on top of the Chariot. Death goes on top of Temperance. The Moon goes on top of the Ten of Swords. The Fool goes with the Five of Wands, and the Two of Wands goes with Justice. Ooh, cutting to Justice. Justice, I don't know, it's almost like what is necessary. Like with the Eight of Pentacles earlier, it's a value exchange. Okay. Oh, wait, did that flip over? Do I already have my final card? It did. We have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Ten of Swords. End of month, busiest week of the month / quarter. Oof. Yeah, I heard that last week at work, it was pretty busy. So I'm glad to be working weekends because I worked throughout the week, 1 week, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much. It's been pretty quiet the past few days, though. Sorry to be like, oh, like you're having a busy week. Yeah, it's been pretty quiet over here. Yeah, I've actually been like loving it because I was suffering before. But anyway, I hope you find moments of peace within your busy week. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. That no sounds fun. The Ten of Swords came out with the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I've seen the Ten of Swords recently because I pointed out the Owl of Athena. I feel like the owl is like watching to see if something is really dead. Is there any blood on this card? I can't tell if that's a tinge of redness or if that's just the shadow. The reason why I ask is because I don't know if the owl is asking. The owl is like, are they playing or are they for real? I don't know. It ain't whatever this owl is. Crocodile tears are gonna work. Yeah. I guess we all get our turn, right? We go from the back burner to the front burner. to the front and center burner. Excuse me. Oh, I just saw the moon. 5 of Wands went on top of the moon. The Star went on top of the Hanged Man. 8 of Pentacles on top of the 7 of Swords. Ace of Wands on top of Temperance. The Tower on top of the moon. Tower on top of the moon. I don't know. With the 10 of Swords and the 6 of Wands, it's like after something is worked through, it feels like there's, I guess you could say, like the inner child gets to come out and play after the big bad goes away. That's why the inner child is like, is the monster still under the closet? Is the monster under the closet? Yeah. Is the monster still under the closet? Is it safe to come out? But it feels like it's just like maybe there was a part of us that stopped aging or growing at a certain point in our lives because of circumstances. The 10 of Swords is us accepting that the circumstance was what it was and learning to somehow move on in a way where it doesn't affect us as much in whatever area that we won't be affected. If that makes sense. It probably doesn't, but it's like to the degree that is for us to work through it, right? And it's relative. But then, yeah, it's like after that's taken care of, then it's like there's something else that can begin again, or that can resume, or that can return. That's a lot lighter. Ace of Pentacles and the 8 of Wands at the cut. All right, final card from the final deck. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. I didn't necessarily know where this would go, but I rarely do. Look at this. Look at this. I'm not taking it. Again, 10 of Swords again. This time with the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords would have been the bottom of the deck. No. Oh, okay. It's a different 10. Oof, I screwed myself over. Not really. I tried to like be smart and like, I was like, I'm not gonna take the 10 of Swords. No. Blah, blah, blah. It's at the bottom of the deck now. I just put it at the bottom of the deck. So the 10 of Swords is at the bottom of the deck now. Oh, because the owl was watching and waiting. The owl is watching and waiting. Right? The card that flipped over in the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of the Year is the Wheel of the Year. Look, there's the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles that was at the cut with the 8 of Wands. It was the Ace of Pentacles at the cut with the 8 of Wands. But the Wheel of the Year brings the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. It brings all 4 aces. So after this is like really resolved, after the owl is satisfied, then things start moving in all kinds of directions. And maybe that starts to play into the overwhelm of the sun. Like, there are too many good things going on. I don't have the time to do them all. I only have so much room in my stomach, and there's so much tasty food here. Is my Taurus moon showing? If I eat anymore, I'll throw up and I'll get sick and it won't be pleasurable. It won't be fun. I want to enjoy this experience. I only wish that my tummy were bigger. Give me 10 minutes and 2 rolls of toilet paper. Okay, I'm done. Anyway. I actually did like low key. I looked at my hair today. I was like, oh, because it was like in the thumbnail, maybe it was like all on like one shoulder or something like that. And I was like, oh, anyway. It's my healed Chiron and Leo. It's my healing. I said healed, we'll claim it. It's my healed and healing Chiron and Leo. That's me go, oh, okay, all right. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Thank you, Sandra and Kirsty and Eve for being here. For anyone that stopped by, thank you. And for those who stop by later, thank you as well, I guess. What is my biggest hope for you today? My biggest hope for you today is that you allow yourself to receive all of the dreams that you've been dreaming. Do, 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 do. All right, I will catch y'all next time. Should I eat one more cookie for the road? Speaking of Taurus moon, or maybe I shouldn't. I'm going to make a poll. Oh, Kirsty said do it, so I'm going to do it. Well, I'm going to make a poll anyway. I'm learning Spanish on Duolingo. And orange is naranja. And orange is naranja. Like the fruit and the color are the same. So it's apparently not exclusive to English, where the color and the fruit are the same word. Do 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 do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ending the poll. 3 people voted purple with 3 P's. Purple was yes. Purple was yes, eat the cookie. Orange was no, don't eat the cookie. Kirsty already said yes, so thank you. Wait, what? All right, I can eat this off screen. Thank you all for being here. I hope the best of times for you, and that you're open to receive them. Right? Good thinking. Good thinking.